Notre Dame
Oh,
falls short of a comeback bid 27-24 to start off the 2025 campaign. 0-1 for the first time in 3 years. We break it down next on the Golden Domers Report.
By Samaja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go, 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 go!
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. Landon Trailer, joined by Dylan Kearns, Logan Trailer, and John Richards. Well, the Irish fall 27-24 in South Beach to the number 10 ranked Miami Hurricanes by a final score of 27-24. Dylan, we'll start with you real quick. At the end of the day, it was 27-24, but we also dug quite a big hole for ourselves to come back from.
the start was what I'm mostly concerned about. Like, I felt our preparation was not there from the start. The defense wasn't ready, obviously, giving up big plays, getting pushed around. I mean, we had no control of the line of scrimmage. The offensive line couldn't move. They were getting pummeled even on the last drive. The defensive line was getting pushed. When they needed a yard, they got a yard. We got manhandled. And it was just absolutely embarrassing. The game plan was weak. I thought our play calling was hideous, at least to start the game. I understand you got a freshman quarterback in a weird environment. I get that. But at some point, you got to believe that you have the personnel and the players to make these plays in these big games and take a freaking chance. I mean, it was absolutely insane how unprepared we were after everything that the offseason had. Like, this is the 1 week that you have all the time in the world to prepare because you have the whole offseason. And he came out there and he got slapped around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, JR, when is the last time that you can remember that we got pushed around on both sides of the offensive and defensive line? I mean, it's been a long time that I can remember that we got pushed around up front on both sides.
Yeah, both lines of scrimmage together in one game. It's been a really long time. I guess maybe you could go back to Northern Illinois, I guess, or at Ohio State in Freeman's initial opener in the second half.
I mean, that's what
But even that game, we were competent early on. It just felt it was a confusing night for me.
Mm-hmm.
The game plan was ill-conceived.
Mm-hmm.
It felt awkward,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole weekend long, you saw coaches sort of training wheeling their quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we do have we got weeks to prepare for this, but it's also the first game. And, college football, these kids don't have, a preseason. So there's sort of some feeling out going into the game. But, at some point you would have thought that maybe we would have leaned on our bell cow in a little bit more traditional way instead of coming out and, to say we were slinging it all around. We weren't doing that. We were throwing, high percentage, short, quick throws that kind of took decision-making out of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I suspect towards the end of the year, we're going to see some different throws and some different approach. But last night everything felt off and weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that place down there does to you against them. I guarantee you, they ain't never going to have a crowd like that the rest of the year.
They play Florida in a couple weeks.
You can't go down -2, lose both lines of scrimmage in an environment like that, and expect to win. And you guys, we almost did. We still almost won. It took a miracle catch at the end of the half. It took a 47-yard field goal with a minute left. Give the kid credit. He hit it. I didn't think he was going to make it. So, it felt like an empty opportunity, a weird kind of a night and ending. But we still fought back. I think we can all agree that maybe Carr is probably the right pick. We can see that he's got the characteristics and the qualities needed. But we've got a lot of work to do on both lines of scrimmage. That's where it starts. You know me, I'm a big believer in 40 rushes a game.
Yeah.
How many total rushes did we have last night?
16.
Our best running back, again, looked like our quarterback who nobody thought could really run. And it turns out he's maybe a little bit more athletic than we anticipated.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to see Carr take it up the line of scrimmage like that. But nonetheless, Logan, first game of the season, as a coach, you have those first game jitters. I'm sure at your first game last year, you had those first game jitters for your team. But at some point, you guys locked it in and made the adjustments. It just seemed that on the defensive side of things, at least, we never did.
No, and it felt like JR explained it, like it felt weird in a sense. My thing I think is most frustrating is kind of JR hit on it is like all off season, they're talking about how pissed off they are, how hungry they are, how they look as last year is falling short. Like if you're that pissed off and you make it known that you're that pissed off throughout the off season, you don't lose in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And if you would have told me, like I'm sitting here this morning looking at the box score, like if you would have told me CJ went 19 for 30 for 221 and 2 touchdowns, I would have told you we won the game. If you would have told me we were going to score 24 points on the road in the first game, I would have told you we won the game. Giving up 27 points wasn't on my bingo card. Giving up over 120 rushing yards to Miami wasn't on my bingo card. And, it felt like there was more questions that we have defensively rather than we have offensively, which I would have called you crazy if that was the case. And, defensively, it just felt like every position was almost second guessing themselves. Like, yes, the last play at the half where, he makes a spectacular catch, like credit to them, but like our corner is kind of questioning, is he going to go try to catch it and pick it off or, is he going to blow him up? And it was just that indecisiveness, really goes back to coaching. Like there's got to be clarity there. We shouldn't have guys who have been in these positions questioning themselves and the decisions they make. And, that's where I'm frustrated at, to JR's point, CJ, running the ball, like, they had a lot of packages for him, to make decisions, a ton of RPOs, a lot of quick throws to get him in rhythm. Like I liked Denbrock's plan. You look at it, you think Jeremiah didn't get enough touches, but he ran the ball 10 times. He, had 5 receptions. So it's, they're trying to get him involved, but knowing what we know about Marcus and what he wants to do with that running back room, we're never going to have a running back get 20 touches a night. And, that's something that like, would you consider getting Jay Love in rhythm like you did CJ? Like, is that something that we need to look at? Like, obviously we have a really good tight end in Eli and thought Eli had a really good day, but the questions are defensively and that's alarming for me.
Yeah, very. We'll get into Chris Ash's defense in a little bit down the stretch here. Let's get into the game. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter with a Notre Dame fumble and a Miami muffed field goal attempt. So not much really happening there in that first quarter. Both teams still kind of feeling each other out. The Irish would punt and Miami would go 70 yards in 8 plays to take an early 7-0 lead in that second quarter. A couple drives later, though, CJ Carr would keep the drive alive and finds Micah Gilbert in the end zone for a touchdown. That did not look like a first-time starting quarterback throw, JR. Not at all. That touchdown he threw to Micah Gilbert on the run, kept the play alive at the 3-yard line, rushed back all the way to damn near the 30, and then made a throw.
Yeah, you like his pocket awareness. I don't like running backwards like that, but you can clearly see that he's got the tools, he's got the athletic ability, he's got the pedigree, he's got the size. He kind of threw a little it was like a no-look little okey doke there too. My complaint offensively was, even when we did try to run the ball with 24, he looked great.
Mhm.
And then we never saw him again.
Yep.
So Love did have 15 touches, but just the emphasis in sort of imposing our will on the ground and having that mentality, like, here we are, we're coming to, do business. And it just didn't feel like that was there. It felt like more of a finesse, like, we're going to outsmart you and decoy you to death on the perimeter and kind of, duck and dime our way down the field quickly. It just felt ill-conceived. And by the time, we sort of got back in it and then we could kind of go that way, it was too late and just it didn't feel right. But Carr, I liked him. He looked good. He's certainly, I think, the right guy.
Yeah. Get the keys out, start the car. Let's go.
But again, let him go. These quarterbacks, I'm going to go back to Arch. Klubnik, there were training wheels on these guys all weekend long. And maybe it's just certainly not ours, but the defenses are ahead of the offenses. I don't know.
Ours is oodles back from our offense. Right before half, Miami drives at 75 yards, and as Logan mentioned, Beck would hit C.J. Daniels for a one-handed miraculous touchdown catch, and Adon Schuler just stood there waiting for the interception.
The ball.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, hit him, tap it, deflect it. Don't just stand there and wait. He was literally standing there like this. And then when he caught it, he kind of just went out of the way. No, get your nuts out. Hit stick him. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. Where was your nuts on that play? You just let him have the one-handed grab, and you cost us the lead, 14-7 at half. The worst defensive drive, in my opinion, first drive out of the half, I told my dad while we were watching, I said, defense has to set the tone for this second half. Well, 12 plays, 75 yards, 7 minutes, 37 seconds, touchdown Miami. They ran all over us, ran down our throat that drive, and then when they wanted to, they absolutely picked apart our secondary, who was playing them 5 yards off of the receivers the whole night. And then we punt. So I'm thinking this is going to get ugly. 21-7 at the end of the third quarter after we punt. However, we do come out and we score. Carr with a 1 yard to phase on. It's 21-14. We force a Miami punt. However, again, we can never just have a good defensive drive. It was third down, 1 yard to go. And our defensive coordinator, Coach Ash, decides to rush 4 while the other guys go into coverage like they're going to throw deep on us. I'm sorry, it's 3rd and 1. They're backed up. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing, Dylan?
Yeah, gosh, I've had enough to say about this asshole. I mean, I'm seriously, the whole game, I sat there and I talked about this man. I seriously thought Brian Van Gorder was back with the PTSD I had watching this shit. Like, we've had 4 quarterback pressures all night. 4. I saw on Twitter, I'll preface that. 4 quarterback pressures. The last time Notre Dame did that was in 2017 against Navy, who dropped back 9 times. So that just goes to show you that that's what made, and I hate to play the, if he was still here game, but Al Golden was so smart the way he dialed up his blitz packages. Like, he'd have guys coming from every angle. He'd switch up the look. Defenses had no clue what to do. Next thing you know, they're pinning their grass out of their ass because they're on the ground.
And
that's something that, we didn't see it. And we got the personnel. Like, we have pass rushers. Booby had a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You can't get a stop. You get pushed around, and you can't get any freaking quarterback pressures.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. This is I was told this defense is better than last year. No, the hell it ain't. Not after 1 week.
Right. And, whether it's a coaching issue, personnel issue, I think the first one, we saw last year and, since 2022, Al Golden is going to bring everything at you. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to send his guys on you. If you beat us, you beat us. And we saw that in the national championship. I think the national championship play of Al Golden's defense was the definition of Al Golden. He brought it. He went man to man. Your guys against my guys. Let's go. Smith made a great play. And now we don't have that. I don't think we have that sense of aggressiveness. And it's week one. There's adjustments to be made. But nonetheless, we forced the Miami punt, as I mentioned. Love gained 8 yards on a nice carry up the middle, and then the pass is picked off on 2 deflections off the guy's foot. The Miami defender dove for the ball. It bounced off of his foot, and Faison just kind of, and it was intercepted. Hold Miami to a field goal, 24-14. We respond with a field goal of our own, and then the defense forces a 3-and-out. We finally got a sack in 50 seconds, a 50-second drive, and then Carr finds Eli Raridan for 65 yards, keeps the play alive once again. He could have just dumped that off. He could have threw it away. No, he waited in the pocket. He scrambled out, found the open man, Raridan, and then CJ Carr rushes in 7 yards to tie it 24-24. However, it proved to be too quickly, if you will, almost like an Aaron Rodgers type of thing. You score too quickly and left Miami time. They picked apart our defense and go on the game-winning drive. Carter Davis hit a 47-yarder, hell of a kick. And then our last drive was just absolutely putrid. What the hell was even that?
See, that final drive goes to show training wheels. Like, all night long, we didn't have the ability to, longer passing routes, longer throws down the field. Give them credit too. They made plays. They were causing havoc.
Oh yeah.
Beck, he nice subtle movements in the pocket, even when the pocket was disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
They made some plays too. I think the biggest thing for me defensively was, and this is maybe the compare and contrast between Golden and Ash. All night long, we were in like reacting mode,
right,
as opposed to dictating mode, which we're used to with Al Golden. And last night felt like we were on our heels. We were reacting to them. We weren't really dictating on that side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the scoring drives that they had, they were all long.
Yeah.
Long scoring drives. It felt like, is it bend but don't break? And if guys felt unsure of themselves defensively and offensively, it was like we were unsure of what our quarterback could do. All the plays that were longer plays were kind of broken down plays. So that last drive, when we got the ball back with a minute left and no timeouts, I'm like, a minute, we can do something with that, with a veteran offense. This offense right now, if we tried a 25-yard pass down the field last night, odds were it was probably going to be picked off. Mm-hmm. It felt like all night long it was a quick passing game. We didn't have that last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of CJ Carr, he went 19 of 30, 221 yards, as Logan mentioned. 2 touchdowns, did have that 1 interception, but that was not on CJ, in my opinion. When you run a screen 1,000 times, of course, there's going to be 2 guys around where you're going. They read our scheme like a book there. Jadarian Price had 6 carries, 45 yards. Jeremiah Love with 10 carries, 33 yards, 16 combined. You do the math there. As Logan said, that's not the Marcus Freeman type of offense. He's not going to get 45, but man, 10 carries just Eli Raridan had 5 receptions for 97 yards, and then Fields and Faison had quite the night minus the fumble. Where was Jaden Greathouse?
Yeah,
Logan. What happened?
I think it's more of Jaden because it's all last year, right? I don't think if we go back and watch the shows from last year, when his Greathouse mentioned, other than the fact that he needs to get going, and then in the biggest games he plays well, is probably our best receiver going into that national championship game and doing what he did in the national championship game. I think that's something that like needs to get corrected. Like same thing with Jeremiah too. Like, does it feel like we're just giving Jeremiah touches just to give him touches and keep him happy? Or is it like this is like our identity? We want to get the best player the ball. And, it is a more loaded. I wouldn't call it like a very good receiving room. It's better than the years past, which isn't hard. But
Oh shit.
but like it is a good receiving core, and we do have some weapons. I was very impressed with Fields. I was very impressed with Jordan. I thought Jordan played really well. But at the same time, like, how do you get your best players the ball? Like, all you hear about all offseason is how Jaden Greathouse has, continued to get better, continue to develop, is kind of going to carry over what he did last year into this season. And did he have a catch?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Not even on the box
Did
score.
he have a ball thrown his way?
No.
Yes, it was the interception. Or was that to face
yeah,
on?
it was. Yep.
Because
No.
he was scrambling for the ball, like
Yep,
looking
that
for
was
it.
Great House. That was
The only
Great
time I
House.
saw him.
I said Faison. I misspoke there.
Like-
Parts of go ahead.
like to me, like to our viewers, we never claim like we know X's and O's with football, but at the same time, in any sport, you want to find ways to get your best players the ball the most efficient way. Running a freaking screen, multiple times over and over and over and over in the same like RPO concept over and over and over again. Like that pick's not on CJ. That pick's not on Greathouse. That pick's on the fact that we've called the same play 20 times.
It looked horrible every time, too. Like the catch that Faison made for the first down, that was like traffic jam. I was holding my breath when he caught the damn thing. And then
Like, and you're telling me like the 3 or 4 yards we're getting, the 3 or 4 yards we're getting from that play, like giving the ball to Jeremiah Love isn't like we're not going to get the same result, if not better.
Exactly.
Like, but you know what? It goes back to JR's point, and it's not to get on a tangent. Like we reacted on both sides of the field of the ball last night. We reacted. We didn't dictate anything. We didn't dictate what we wanted to do offensively. We didn't dictate what we wanted to do defensively. Like we let Miami dictate the type of football game we were going to have.
And that's not
credit to Miami.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like how do you let that happen?
I think I don't want to keep drilling Denbrock because I think he's a great mind, but I was very confused by some of the things. Aeneas Williams got one snap and he was right in the red zone for a big drive. Gotta have it. Like that dude's been ice cold on the bench the whole game. You haven't seen him at all, and he's in there in a 1 yard situation for the dang score that he went to the 1 yard catch to Faison.
Yeah.
But what's Aeneas Williams checking into the game there for?
Yeah,
like
he almost
JR's
fouled
credit,
him.
I thought Jadarius.
He bumped into the car.
Yeah, they ran into him.
Yeah.
He luckily on his knees got a block and kept him alive. But
Right.
I mean, I to JR's credit too, like you mentioned, Jadarian Price was probably the best running back that they had, and he had some big runs on that drive, and we never saw him again. He fumbled, and they got it back in the red zone, but still, that's
why we didn't see him again.
Yeah, he ran the ball hard though. I liked it.
He did, and you heard all spring and summer long, like, are we going to see this 2-back look? Last year's team, it felt like we're going to run it. We're going to come, 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. Here it is. It's coming down your throat. Last night, it felt like we were trying to decoy our way and scheme our way into managing rushing yards. And the mentality was clearly not there to just ground and pound. And that, and it was raining hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was raining. It was raining pretty hard. I mean, cameras were getting wet. You could see it bouncing off the helmet.
The other thing is, I'm out on this hurdling now too. The thought crossed my mind: is the guy maybe still not 100%? And then I'm thinking, well, he's out there hurdling guys like he's Edwin Moses in the '84 Olympics, so maybe he is completely healthy. But to me, and this, Coach Logan, he's familiar with this. You always want to win the first 5 minutes of the second half in a basketball game. This game was lost in the middle right there in that, they got the ball at half. They scored right before half. They got the ball, and they went right down the field and they scored again. I mean, they punched us in the mouth, and
no doubt about it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Now, transitioning from an offensive standpoint, Carson Beck was 20 for 31, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Canes put up 119 rush yards on Notre Dame. Malachi Toney and C.J. Daniels worked our secondary all night long. The defensive line got absolutely manhandled. The defensive scheme stunk. Zero aggressiveness. Zero. Like JR said, we reacted. And going back to offensive, my opinions, the play calling was pathetic. Screen, check down, punt. Screen, check down, punt. Love and Price was 16 carries, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. That has to be more. And then, of course, something I would like to speak on is our offensive line looked bad. It looked rough all night long. I mean, we had guys missing assignments, and that is just unacceptable. Missing blocks. One guy went up instead of getting the defensive end. He went up and got the defensive tackle, and he went right. The end went right through him. Instead of blocking that defensive end, he blocked the tackle, and it amazed me just to see the missed blocks, the amount of confusion on the line too. It's like, oh shit, where did you come from? Oh, maybe I'm supposed to be blocking you. I mean, it baffles me that the offensive line looked that bad after years of stability in that same position. So
that's Rudolph's this is his 3rd year.
Yeah. So exactly, it baffles me that this is happening in year 3. I mean,
you could tell though that they trusted Beck and their receivers more than we trusted ours.
They threw downfield. We didn't.
They did. And that's probably the best offensive line we're going to see all year long. That's a really, really good offensive line. Again, you got to give them a little bit of credit.
I am. They beat us.
Shalom.
They beat us. I'm tipping my cap. I mean, there is no doubt about it. All right. Lost.
Where was Young all night? That guy needs to play every down defensively.
Yeah. Overall, lost 27-24. Not a good game. I know we lost by 3 points, but it just felt like we were going to lose all night.
Can I pose a question real quick?
Depends.
How do you guys feel?
Is it professional?
Yes. Okay. CJ Carr took a lot of licks.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about, that they're going to get this guy killed the same way Riley took his shots?
No, he got right back up and just
over the course of the year. I mean, that dude, he went down with his head. I thought he was about to get paralyzed.
That does need to be addressed.
Sheesh.
Like an Anthony Richardson for the Colts, just waiting out there to get hurt.
But Dylan, like, that's the thing that, like, it's like Riley, like the first Ohio State drive.
Yeah.
We go 17 plays, we run him 12 times, and now he's gassed the whole game.
He like puked.
That's the thing. Like, get the ball to Price, get the ball to Aeneas, get the ball to Jeremiah Love. Like, those touches, in my opinion, like, good concepts. I don't think CJ hurt us in the running game. I think he helped. But, like, you hear about the running backs. You hear about how it's the best room, Notre Dame's had in years. And we've had some really good ones. Like, that's my issue.
16 carries between the two of them. That is
makes you wonder if they have bigger concerns about the offensive line right out of the gate because they didn't trust hat on hat, man on man. Here we come. So we're going to try to, again, decoy Love and exploit you elsewhere. It's like we outthought ourselves a little bit.
Right.
Just
keep it simple, stupid, Logan. Logan says that all the time. Keep it simple, stupid.
Turn left. Turn right. Turn left. That's to take it.
Yeah.
Also, and this is a bigger thing that I think is going to be, I said it in the preview, it's difficult to replace a Riley Leonard, a Jack Kaiser, an Al Golden, and just expect the same kind of success right out of the gate. There's going to be some bumps and bruises. Can we learn from this? Can we get better from this? We don't like losing, but it's not the end of the world either. We didn't lose to Tarleton State.
Yeah, as Army did, but JR, the road only gets harder from here. I mean, we got Texas A&M coming up. We got on the road at Fayetteville, at Arkansas, Purdue. Purdue is the Northern Illinois this year on our schedule, which means you got to be ready for them. And with this defensive scheme, shit. So we shall see what we shall see. A bye week coming this upcoming week for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We will be back not this Wednesday, or not this Monday, but the next Monday, obviously, to preview the Texas A&M Aggies and recap a week 2 of college football that we will not be a part of. Man, this one hurts, and now we get to sit here and stew on this loss for another week as we head into a bye week. So, with that being said, have a wonderful Labor Day, everybody, and we will see you in 1 week. Go Irish!